You have 10 seconds. 10 seconds to decide if you live or die. Your FA-18 Super Hornet is screaming toward the deck of a nuclear-powered aircraft carrier at 150 miles per hour. The landing zone is 750 feet long. In the darkness, it looks like a postage stamp floating in an infinite black void, barely visible through the haze of saltwater mist and jet exhaust. The air smells like hot metal and burnt fuel. Your heart isn't just pounding, it's echoing inside your helmet. You miss the wire. What happens next is one of the most violent, terrifying, and brilliantly engineered procedures in all of aviation. A bolter is not a mistake, it's a test of systems, training, and human nerve under extreme pressure. Because on an American aircraft carrier, a missed landing doesn't mean you get a second chance. It means you enter a protocol so intense, so precise, that one wrong move sends a $70 million jet and its pilot into the cold, unforgiving sea, vanishing in darkness before anyone even has time to say your name over the radio.
The USS Nimitz. Over 1,000 feet of American steel, 100,000 tons, a floating city with 5,000 souls aboard. A nuclear reactor that will run for 25 years without refueling. On the flight deck, organized chaos. Yellow jerseys directing aircraft with illuminated wands. Purple jerseys refueling gents from hoses thick as pythons. Red jerseys standing ready with ordnance, their faces always alert. Green jerseys managing catapults and arresting gear, eyes scanning constantly for the slightest malfunction. And those arresting cables, 4 steel ropes stretched across the landing zone, each one moving slightly with the ocean's rhythm, glistening with hydraulic oil. Each cable is engineered to stop a 54,000-pound fighter jet traveling at 100 miles per hour in just 2 seconds, absorbing kinetic energy equivalent to a head-on crash into a wall. Every landing is a controlled crash. Every approach is a negotiation with physics, skill, and fate. Aviators train thousands of hours for these seconds. They dream about the ball at night, the glowing indicator that tells them if they live or die. But what happens when the hook misses the wire?
The bolter. What just happened? It's called a bolter, and for the pilot it feels like this. You're on glide slope, ball centered, line up good. You see the deck rushing up, your tailhook drops. You feel the wheels kiss the steel deck briefly, and then nothing. The wires slide beneath you untouched, disappearing below your jet in a blur of motion and sparks. For a fraction of a second, your body braces for the violent jolt of the wire, but it never comes. Your instincts kick in before your brain processes what just happened. Full power, now. You slam the throttles forward with everything you have. Your arm muscles tense as you push them past the detent into full military power, sometimes even to afterburner. The engines behind you roar like caged beasts set free, 44,000 pounds of thrust exploding into the night. Because here's the terrifying truth. You're already at the end of the deck. On a normal runway, you'd have 8,000 to 12,000 feet to abort and try again. On the Nimitz, you have just 750. And beyond that, nothing. Just black water, waves slamming into the hull, waiting to swallow you whole. The angled deck, designed specifically for this moment, gives you just enough space to claw your way back into the air. Every inch matters. Your nose lifts, the deck falls away. For one heartbeat, you're weightless. Then the jet catches air. You've survived, so far. But the adrenaline hasn't even begun to fade, because now the real work begins. The Delta pattern, organized chaos. You're not alone in the sky. There are 8 other jets in the pattern, some low on fuel, some moments from their own landing attempts, some circling in long, silent turns as they wait their turn in the darkness. Radios crackle. The voice of the landing signal officer cuts through the tension, calm, controlled, emotionless. Hornet 304, bolter, bolter. Climb and maintain Angels 3, enter the Delta. The Delta, a vertical ballet in the sky. Each aircraft is assigned an altitude, separated by exactly 1,000 feet, moving in a racetrack pattern above the ship. Below you, the carrier looks impossibly small, a single speck of light in an endless ocean of darkness. It is both your only lifeline and the single greatest obstacle you must face. You're burning fuel faster than you'd like. With gear down, hook extended, flaps deployed, your jet is gulping fuel at nearly 2,000 pounds per hour. The numbers race through your mind. You do the math. 15 minutes until you hit minimum fuel. 4 more attempts, maybe. But there is no divert, no runway on land, no backup plan. Out here, the carrier is the only option, and it is moving. You steady your breathing. Hands tremble slightly as you adjust your throttle. Your training takes over. You listen. Ahead of you, another pilot is attempting to land. You hear the LSO guiding them in. Power. Hold it. Little high. You watch their lights disappear below the flight deck horizon. Silence. Then the call. 3-wire. Good trap. Your turn.
Why it happens, the science of failure. So why does a bolter happen? Sometimes it's weather. The deck is pitching violently in rough seas, rising and falling up to 30 feet. The hook must connect perfectly with a wire that is moving in 3 dimensions. Other times, it's pure physics. The tailhook, a 10-foot steel arm, must strike the deck at a precise angle. The deck itself is slightly angled to accommodate the arresting system. If your aircraft's nose is too high, the hook lifts off the deck for just a fraction of a second. If it's too low, it bounces. A difference of 2 degrees, less than the angle of your kitchen table, can mean the difference between a perfect 3-wire and a bolter. The carrier is also moving forward at nearly 25 knots, generating wind over the deck to aid landing. Every approach is a moving equation: wind speed, aircraft sink rate, glide slope, angle of attack, throttle response. Come in too low, ramp strike, catastrophic. Come in too high, hook miss, bolter. Come in too fast, you might snap the wire, turning it into a 3-inch thick steel whip traveling at 600 miles per hour. That has killed before. That's why the landing signal officers exist. They stand directly in harm's way, eyes fixed on every micro movement of your jet, with the power to abort your landing with a single call. Because a bolter is not the worst thing that can happen. It's just the beginning.
Before we see what happens when things go truly wrong, hit that subscribe button. Most people watching still haven't, and it truly helps us bring these stories to you. Now, let's talk about the ultimate nightmare.
When the bolter becomes an emergency, second bolter, your breathing is steady now, but your fuel isn't. You line up again. The deck looks even smaller than before. The ocean, darker. The stakes, higher. You hit the deck. You miss the wire. Then it happens. A piercing chime in your headset. The master caution alarm. Your left engine is flaming out. There's no time to think, only react. You maintain control, declare an emergency. Immediately, every other aircraft in the pattern pulls away. Tankers reposition. The sky clears just for you. On deck, the atmosphere shifts from controlled tension to full alert. Fire crews in silver suits sprint into place. Crash barriers are prepared. The entire ship is focused on one pilot. You. This is your last shot. You line up, one engine screaming, asymmetrical thrust fighting your every correction. Your arms ache from the force. The LSNs guide you in with flawless precision. Power. You're low. Power. You add throttle. The jet roars. You hit the deck. You feel it. That violent, perfect, life-saving tug. The wire caught. You go from 140 miles per hour to 0 in less than 2 seconds. The harness digs into your shoulders like steel bars. Your vision narrows for a moment as your body absorbs forces greater than a car crash. But you're alive. The yellow shirts are already moving in, chalking your wheels, saluting your safe recovery. The crash crew stands motionless, ready to act, but their services are not needed today. You shut down the right engine, the last sound fading into silence. For a few seconds, you just sit there in the cockpit, hands trembling. In the darkness of the canopy, you take one breath. You made it.
The rarest emergency, when there's no choice. But sometimes, the landing wires won't be there to save you. Sometimes the aircraft is too damaged to risk a conventional recovery. You could be hit by enemy fire. You could lose hydraulics. Your landing gear might be jammed. Or the worst scenario, your tailhook is gone. In these cases, the carrier has one final option: the barricade. It's a massive nylon net stretched across the landing area, held by steel stanchions that rise from the deck like the last line of defense.
The barricade is engineered to absorb the kinetic energy of a 50,000-pound jet moving at 150 miles per hour. It will destroy the aircraft. Wings will snap. Fuselage panels will shear off. But the pilot, if everything goes right, will survive. Every sailor on deck holds their breath when the barricade goes up. This is not a drill. This is life support. They can rig the barricade in under 7 minutes. Every movement is choreographed, every sailor trained to do it by heart. Yet most will never see it used in a real emergency. Modern Navy aviation is so advanced, so relentlessly maintained, that only 1 or 2 barricade landings occur each decade across the entire fleet. Every one of those landings becomes legend.
The mental game, what it takes. But statistics don't capture what it feels like to fly the most dangerous flight profile in the world. Carrier aviation is the ultimate test of human nerve. Pilots train endlessly. Simulator sessions recreate every nightmare scenario. Engine failures, crosswinds, black hole approaches over a moonless sea. Still, nothing prepares you for the real thing. 5,000 people are watching you, not because they want you to fail, but because their safety depends on your perfection. The greenie board, posted in ready rooms across the ship, grades every landing with brutal honesty. Bolters are recorded, waved-off landings are documented. Every pilot sees their name, every mistake becomes part of their record. And yet, this pressure isn't designed to break them, it's designed to forge them. One pilot put it simply, you don't rise to the occasion, you fall back on your training. At night, the difficulty doubles. There's no horizon, no light. Just a glowing orange ball, the optical landing system, guiding you down. Pilots call it flying the ball. You must keep it centered. If it drops, you're too low. If it rises, you're too high. There are no guesses, no instincts, only precision. You are flying a multi-million-dollar war machine onto a moving runway the size of a convenience store roof, surrounded by freezing water and unforgiving steel. This is where mental discipline overcomes fear. This is where the best prove why they're the best.
Conclusion. The aircraft carrier is not just a ship, it is an ecosystem of excellence, a symbol of American resolve, a machine powered not by nuclear reactors, but by the skill, courage, and relentless determination of the men and women aboard. Every bolter is a reminder that perfection is demanded, not requested. Every safe landing is a celebration of what happens when engineering, training, and human will combine. And every time a pilot misses the wire, they do not panic, they do not quit. They go around, they reset, and they come back. Because on a U.S. aircraft carrier, failure is not the end of the story. It's just another step toward mastering the most dangerous job in the world.